Okay, so we're going to be talking about this AI co-scientist thing, right? Not like a literal robot in a lab coat, more like something way more revolutionary. Imagine like a digital assistant that can just like read every scientific paper ever, and then connect dots between all these different studies and even like suggest new research. That's kind of what Google's going for with this new AI co-scientist. And what's really cool is that it's not just about crunching numbers or whatever. This AI is built on this thing called Gemini 2.0, and it's designed as a multi-agent system, which might sound kind of jargony, but think of it like a whole team of specialists, each one with its own like expertise. So you got one that's like all about brainstorming hypotheses, right? And then another one that's like ranking how good those hypotheses could be. And then another one that's refining them and so on and so on. So instead of just spitting out like one answer, this AI actually goes back and forth, kind of like a scientific debate, but like inside its own code. And here's the really wild part. It actually learns from this whole process. So every time it tests out a hypothesis, whether it's through like simulations or suggesting real-world experiments, it takes that knowledge and feeds it back into the system. So it's constantly refining how it does things and getting smarter. It's like the scientific method, but like on fast forward times a million. Now you might be thinking, can a machine really be a scientist, though? And yeah, that's a totally fair question. Google keeps saying that the goal isn't to replace human scientists. It's more about like giving them superpowers. Think of it as this crazy powerful tool. Like it can analyze mountains of data that would take humans years to go through. And it can spot connections that even like the most brilliant minds might miss. Like let's take a real world example. So these scientists at Imperial College London spent over a decade trying to figure out this new antibiotic resistance mechanism. This AI co-scientist used the same data and got to the same conclusion way faster. And get this, it even found like potential weaknesses in this resistance, which could totally help us develop new drugs. It's like having a research assistant that never sleeps and can read 1,000,000 papers a minute. It's pretty insane, right? And it's not just like copying what we already know. This AI is actually going into like uncharted territory. It's helping researchers discover things that we've never even thought of before. So there was this one experiment where the scientist was totally stumped by this super aggressive cancer. And they basically fed all the data they had into the AI co-scientist. And what happened next was like mind-blowing. The AI looked at all this crazy complex stuff like the interplay of genes and proteins, and it came up with this totally unexpected idea for treatment. It suggested using a drug that was already out there, but it was originally made for a completely different condition. And you might think, oh, that's just a lucky guess. But nope, they actually tested it out in the lab. And the AI suggestion actually worked. It actually like stopped the cancer cells. And now they've got this whole new line of research that no human scientist had even considered. That's what makes this AI so crazy. It can see patterns in all this messy data. It's like having a brainstorming buddy who's read every single scientific paper ever and can instantly pull up the most relevant stuff. It can help scientists come up with new ideas, figure out which research directions are the most promising, and even design experiments that are like way more precise and efficient than anything we've ever seen before. Of course, this whole thing is still pretty new. Right now, only a small group of researchers can use it through Google's Trusted Tester program, and it's mostly being used in biomedical research. But imagine what could happen once everyone can use this kind of AI. What if we could use it to fight climate change, or come up with new energy sources, or even figure out the mysteries of the universe? It's like we're on the verge of this whole new scientific renaissance, where the only limit to how fast we make discoveries is like the AI itself. And yeah, we got to be careful, we got to make sure this tech is used ethically and responsibly, but the potential benefits are just too huge to ignore. I mean, it really makes you think, like, what could this all mean for the future of science? Imagine a world where big breakthroughs happen not in like decades, but in like months or even weeks. Like, think about it. Diseases that have been around forever. Suddenly we understand them and we can cure them. And what about the mysteries of the universe? We can uncover those so much faster. This AI co-scientist from Google, it's like a little peek into that future. It's a sign that we're entering this whole new era of scientific exploration where we can use AI to like boost our own human ingenuity. Who knows what crazy discoveries are waiting for us? Maybe this AI will help us finally figure out consciousness or come up with clean energy that can power the whole planet. Heck, maybe we'll even figure out how to live longer or even colonize other planets. The possibilities are, like, seriously mind-blowing. But of course, we got to remember that AI is just a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad, right? It's up to us to make sure that we use this incredible technology responsibly. We got to use it ethically to make sure it benefits everyone. But one thing's for sure, the future of science is totally connected to the future of AI. And that future is looking pretty amazing.